All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. Hello. Let's see. There it goes. All right, let's start with some gratitude this morning. For Valentine's Day, I have a little cute bear. So who has some gratitude to share this morning? Could be anything.
I do.
Grandbaby, that's right. All right, Alicia, what did you say? You popped on.
So in March, I'm leaving for a couple of weeks because my brother and his wife are officially adopting a little baby. And so it's going to be going to the court and it's going to be final. So we're super happy about that.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. That's definitely something to be grateful about. Anybody else? Gratitude this morning on Valentine's Day? Yeah. All the husbands should say that. All the husbands should say that. Costco flowers are top 9. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So flowers, that's awesome. Valentine's is fun. I think Valentine's is fun. I almost did a little Facebook post last night because I was like, to all you moms tearing preparated little invitations and addressing them and sticking the little sucker in the candy on them and building the little mailbox and doing, I see you moms, I see you. My kids, he goes to Macon East and they have, and he's in preschool, but they have a preschool building with 2 3K classes and 2 4K, whatever it is. But they wanted to have all 35 kids do a Valentine's party. And I'm like, y'all sent me a list of 35 children's names. And these kids can't read. So I just wrote from Ren on every little card. So if I'm, judged for that, so be it. No. Anyway, all right. Happy Valentine's Day. We're going to get started. And we have an attitude of gratitude this morning. A message from Keller Williams International President Mark King. We have a little video, and so just everybody on Zoom, can anybody put in the chat that you can hear me? I don't see anyone, so I just want to make sure y'all can hear me. Well, we just talked to Alicia, so Alicia could hear us.
I can hear you, baby.
Perfect. Great. All right.
Hello, welcome to February. This is our favorite month of the year. No, not the shortest, but because this is the month where we all get together, we have our family reunion, and it is a family. So I really hope you're coming to Anaheim. And one of those things, when I think about what you're REA, it's all about becoming a local economist of choice. What does that mean? It means 2 main things. One is you know your numbers better than anybody else. I promise you, there is no national company, whether it's Zillow or Keller Williams or Redfin or any of those, who knows more about your market than the local economist choice in your market. So that's how you are the true fiduciary to all of your clients. The second thing it means is that your clients can count on you to be the card catalog of choice. Now, for some of you that didn't experience it, we have this thing called the investment system, and we have built this called the library. You go in and look for the card catalog. And all that did is direct you where to find what you're interested in. Well, as a leader in our marketplace, as a top agent, you want to think of yourself as a card catalog as well. So helping your clients invest in real estate, REI, or you want to help them build wealth with several programs that help them build their wealth. But most importantly, it's making sure they know that you're attending education training is the best you're looking to be, and there is no better event than family reunion. We can't wait to see you there. There are still tickets available. We hope you come join us. Have a great month.
Okay, so that's Mark King. Fun fact, he was in not the NBA. What's the baseball one? minor leagues. Anyway, and it came down to him and Derek Jeter to be recruited, hired, whatever, Anyway, he was like, didn't they make a foolish choice? So pretty interesting fact.
Hello.
Every time.
Hello, come away.
Stop it. Stop. We've already heard from you. All right. So here we go. Let me minimize this.
In 2023, Keller Williams turns 40. And sometimes, midlife crisis is a good thing. Now, we aren't going to run out and buy a flashy sports car, or a boat, or some other toy. And we aren't suddenly going to grow a mustache. Because we've already got one. But it is time for something big. Because that's what we do. It's time to tell the world what we really are. And why we were called to this. T.S. Eliot said, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all ours will be to arrive where we turn, know the place for the first time." We started as a small real estate company with a mission to become so trusted by our clients that we could become their realtor for life. But of course, Bill Keller taught us that to be realtors for life, we had to be more than realtors. We're coaches, therapists, mentors, mind readers, and magicians. We're digital hunters of human touch. Wheelers and dealers who will use our powers for good. We are advocates and shoulders to crush, friends to lean on, and confidence to trust. Together, we are the keys and the doors to new future. This is the most important time in our lives as a company, and simply as people. Your clients are feeling that same thing when they come to you. Their first homes, their final homes, newly married, newly divorced, empty nesters or more on the way. These are the most joyous, terrifying, and hopeful times of all our lives. Because your clients are jumping off cliffs and trusting you to build wings on the way down. We get to feel the thrill of that connection every day if we do our jobs right. If we do our jobs right, they aren't jobs at all. It is indeed a calling. To build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living. To be entrepreneurs. For 40 years, we at Keller Williams deeply believe that entrepreneurship is the miracle of America. That in America, if you can dream it, you can build it. We're privileged to be in the business of buying and selling the most important and life-changing dream. Dream of owning a home of your own. It's not just an American dream. It's a dream shared around the world. At Keller Williams, we want to continue to earn the right to be the home of the dreamers, the doers, the entrepreneurs, the hundreds of thousands of you who dreamed and built your own business, and in the process, built ours. We all know everything changes, but we will always champion you, the entrepreneurs, who are powered by purpose, by energy and passion, teamwork, trust, and technology, integrity and culture, and training and rules of how we do it, but who also have the confidence to bend the rules in ways Gary never dreamed of, but hoped you would. You see, we aren't here to teach you our past, or to try and predict your future. We're here to help you create the future. We are reigniting a culture of celebrating entrepreneurial visionaries. Because real leaders don't create followers. We create real leaders. We are teaching rebellion and inspiring invention. Your mavericks and world changers. And your relentless creativity, fueled by the competitive drive inside every one of you, will make the real estate models of today look quaint by the time you're finished. Everything we ever did was a risk. We started as a little underdog company, grew to be the largest real estate company in the world. You know what underdogs do when they get big? They look for bigger fights. Look for those fights. We want you to out-Gary Gary. Take risks, take heart, take action. All these things that you are for your clients, the coach, the therapist, and the key to a new future, we will redevote ourselves maybe for you. There's a reason we want your name larger than ours on the signs. When you look at your clients and think to yourself, it's not about me, it's about them. Well, it's not about us. It's about you. This is the most important time in our lives. You're living in a home built for entrepreneurs to thrive. And true entrepreneurs don't have to wait for doors to open. After all, we have our own lock boxes. Welcome home.
Anybody else like pumped? Like, okay, y'all, you know, it just is challenging for me with this.
Is that the one on our Facebook page or something?
Yes, I would love that. Here we go. Hold on, y'all. You know, it's going to try to play again. Okay, we already had our moment. Okay. Yes, we'll share it on our Facebook page. They had shared this. They had shared it with us. We have a weekly leadership call for the entire company on Mondays, and sometimes they share stuff with us, but don't like share the link or whatever. But now we have it. So I think it's pretty cool. And just, you know, the mindset around, we talk about a lot, what's going on in the market. The market is the market. We can either choose to participate in it or not participate in it. So, you know, if we're led by our mission and our why, then we're going to jump in and participate in it. And we're not going to be afraid of whatever the hype people or the media or whoever are saying. Is that mine?
It's mine and it's new and I don't know.
Oh, I was like, is that mine?
So, yeah.
Okay. Anyway. So, and it goes into our mission and things, and I'm not going to go through every slide, but they put these in the slides for us. But our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And most of the people that are in a relationship with Keller Williams are attached to this mission, that there's something that ties to them and their why and their personal mission and their business vision. And, you know, being a franchise and being the largest franchise, there's a lot that goes with that. And it's also very personal and mission focused, not just about the production. Those things are important and those things are valid, but it's oftentimes an internal connection. So all that. I'm not going to preach today. I'm not at the pulpit today. If I am, y'all need to tithe more because this pulpit looks a little ratty. Alrighty, so we have our guest Valentine with us today. Don't you like that, John? John Valentine. Closing attorney Valentine for all of us. He brought breakfast. So if you're not here, you're missing out. There's biscuits in the back for anybody who wants biscuits. He did not hand carve heart minis, and
Next time.
I'm gonna deduct that from, you know, his points, but
How is that?
perfect. I mean, if you're not willing to go the extra mile, you know. All right, so you can have the stage up here. I'm gonna figure out how to turn this around and take this off. Stop share. All right, it's you got it. Let's see. Just come to the front of the room here. We're gonna put you in Inception again because I know you don't want to stand behind the podium.
No, can't stand.
There we go.
So, morning, guys. I don't know if I know everybody. I'm sorry, I can't hear. It's up here. It's like your thing that you do. That's well, the last check didn't go. That's right. Yeah, my name is John Moody. I'm the closing attorney here in town. Last time we went over the contracts, I don't have a whole lot to go over this morning. Mainly want to be here. If you guys had questions, I know some of you guys are new, some of you guys have been doing this for a long time. There are some changes to how the closing process is working. A lot of you guys are seeing you've got out-of-town buyers, out-of-town sellers. One of the things that we came to our working on this morning, if you've got out-of-town buyers or out-of-town sellers, we can handle the closing here. We can set up a notary. It would just be like them coming to my office and closing, except they're doing it from wherever they are. We can't do Zoom yet because the Alabama does not allow. Well, they allow mobile, they don't allow internet notaries or online notaries, so it still has to be notarized. But I have done closing for people in Greece, I've done it in Thailand, I've done it at military bases all over the world. We can send them the documents, we can even set up the notaries for them. And so that's one less thing that they have to worry about. One of the things we get a package, we will highlight everything, send it to them, it will be just like them sitting in my office, just without the bad jokes. And so, they get to hear my same. Yeah, I could just see this, and you know, the folks that have closed with us before now. I've got to be better. When trying to work with new material, my son keeps telling me that it's sticking over. So, so that is, I know a lot of you guys too, there's, something really over COVID that did more of it. You had Zoom calls that you were meeting with your buyers and the sellers, where folks were buying houses they've never seen. Some of them have never even been to Alabama. And one of the things that doesn't change regardless of what the economy is we have a large military presence here. And they're moving sometimes, you know, they're trying to buy houses 3 or 4 months out, they're not gonna be here. So those are things that we can handle and help you guys with. And so if there's anything that we can do, if you just have a question, Kate's got all my contact information, you guys know how to find me in your branch's office. But if you ever have a question, even if we're not handling the closing, I'll be glad to walk you through. Can't give legal advice, but I can walk you through, hey, this is what to expect, this is what this says, this is what it means. I just can't tell people whether or not to sign. I can tell them what they're signing, just can't tell them what it should.
Educational purpose.
Exactly. My little disclaimer is running off, which I don't have, but that's what we're there to help with. You know, if you come and close, I try to get you in and out of there quickly. You guys have been closing me before, though, it takes about 10 minutes. Even with the largest mortgages, we can get through it quickly. But at the same time, we are there for questions, and make sure that folks understand what they're doing, process. I know I tell folks this all the time, but when we run into title issues and things like that, don't think that we're not trying to, and I think this goes for every closing attorney. We're not trying to stop your sale, because nobody in this room makes any money unless we get this closed. And so our whole goal, I think Lynn's whole goal, you guys' whole goal is to get everybody to the closing table. And we're just that final step. We just get everything signed and we're good to go. But just wanted to say thank you guys for what you do. You guys are on the front lines of dealing with. I get to see it at the very end. And so I will say this, because I've run into this some too. If there is a difficult situation, or you've got folks that are going through divorces or things, and we need to separate folks, or we need to do it at different times, let me know up front. Because it's much easier to deal with that on the front end than it is when everybody starts doing blows in the closing. And I've had that happen. So if you do have a contentious situation, or sometimes even in this market now, you get buyers and sellers that just don't agree and just don't get along. If we need to separate those times, we can make that happen. And so I'm very flexible. If we need to close one at 7 o'clock in the morning and one at 6 o'clock at night, I'll let them know. And we can make that happen. But just know that we're here to help any way we can. Call me or Renee in my office, and then we'll be glad to help anything we can do. All right. Any questions? Anything y'all are seeing that you're just like, hey, you know, I'm running into this, don't know what to do. And I know I'm putting you on the spot, but if you want to call me, I mean, I'll be glad to try to. Go ahead. Sure.
A new situation that I've not run into before, but this man wants to sell his house. I looked in the tax records, he's not the owner, it says in the tax record,
Right.
done by property management. So I called him back and I said, do you have proof of ownership? Do you have a deed? And he said, yes, I do. I said, okay, can I copy it when we get there? He said, well, my own copy, but you can take pictures. So I did that. All right. As it turns out, I talked to Jimmy in late yesterday. But this is a new situation for me.
Sure.
So she said it might have a due on sale clause in it. So be sure and look, because what I'm wondering is, do I need to like now notify the owner, that property management company owner, that this guy is ready to sell? And the proceeds from that would go to this man and pay off the mortgage? Or do you think that this man maybe, what should I do?
Yeah, John, what should we do?
Well, my good lawyer answer is I need more information. And so, and then my other one is it depends. No, really, without looking at it,
But I also do not 10:30.
I'll give you my card, shoot me an email or call me this afternoon and I'll be trying to look it up. And it could be, the tax records are misleading in some ways because they're not actual records. And it could be that this mortgage company or this other management company is paying the property taxes as part of their agreement. And so we would just have to look at it, because I can look at the last deed, but what's recorded in the probate office is what controls. And now there may be, this company may have an interest in the property that needs to be addressed.
It's like a contract for deed. And we haven't seen one of these in a long time.
Right,
But it does say something, but not clear to me
right,
that if so and so is done, you know, then there is a due on sale.
right. What we would need to do is just address both of those issues, find out who the deeded owner is, and then if they do have, it's called a bond for title. And so if they do have that, that's an interest in the property. It's gonna really depend on what's recorded as to what control, or if there's a contract between both of those parties. We can find that out with talking to the seller and then looking what's recorded in the probate office.
Okay.
So, but yeah, give me a call this afternoon, I'll be glad to look it up.
Well, I'm gonna see more of that coming up. There's different, and we don't disparage any brokerage model. There are different models coming around. And if you do your research around them, there's articles about how they're basically doing a 45-year listing agreement. If you ever decide to list your home, it's going to be listed with me, and there's all these clauses and all these things, and it ties up deed, ties up title and all that. So just do what you're doing. Seek help, do your due diligence. Don't listen. We trust our clients. We do. And it's our fiduciary and our responsibility to dig deeper, because sometimes the client doesn't even know. So they may be signing things or getting into agreements that they don't quite understand. And so seeking legal advice is the best thing to do.
Was it Ronald Reagan that said trust but verify?
Yes, yeah. And that's right. That's right.
But a lot of them, they don't know.
Right.
Even more, they don't understand.
Right. And they may have been told that maybe they don't understand, and maybe it was a long time ago. And, it's, you always want to verify and get the attorney or title company, whoever, to check title and check ownership and check all the things. Because you can't sell a property signed with a owner that doesn't own. So, right. I mean,
Message from our owner a couple of months ago.
mhm.
About you. That is not the owner.
Right.
And that was immediately.
Oh, it should be, absolutely. And the tax records are a great starting point.
Like a reference.
Just to know that that is not controlled. If you do get something that says, hey, that's not you as the owner, again, but call, we can look up, I can see who the last deed owner.
So you basically do a title search.
Yeah,
correct?
well, you kind of skinny
Pre-
title
pre-
search. You look at what's the last deed. That's what I.
Skinny.
You just kind of look and see, you can look at the last deed that was recorded, and that's written on your tax records. If you look in the bottom left-hand side, it'll show you the deed records, and that's what I'll do to go and pull up, and I can even show you how to do that, because now Montgomery County, you don't have to pay for them. You have to pay for them if you want to print them out, but you can just look, you don't have to have an account with it.
Oh.
And so.
That's something really cool.
Yeah,
We could do a team meeting on that.
Looking, and that's a good red flag. The person that's paying the taxes is not the person that you're talking to. That's a pretty good indicator there's something wrong. It may be a perfectly plausible explanation, but it could be that there's an issue.
Well, and to the point he was making earlier, asking the questions up front allow you to have a 10-minute closing.
Yes.
Get it all cleared out, because if you show up to closing, and I tell new agents this all the time, don't hope for the closing. Have the tough conversation if they need to be had. Don't try to avoid it. One, you're the professional, you're being paid as a professional. Two, it's likely gonna blow up. Like we're not in a business of hope. So just clear the way.
And you also don't want it to blow up after everybody's done all of their work.
Because you go back to squares, what is it, squares to go around, what is it, square one, that's what it is. You go back to square one.
First.
Yeah.
And you got folks that are wanting to move in, and they've already moved to you, they're sitting in the hotel room, like, sitting on go, and that's not the time to find that.
Yeah.
And so hopefully you would know prior to that, but yeah, the more work it takes and the more work you can do on the front end, it's all easier for us in the back.
Well, I thought it was so crazy when that message came across from the board, because I thought.
Who would do that, right?
"Who did that?
Yeah.
Why would you think about listing something that you wasn't the owner?" Well, it was crazy.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I get this,
Well, I've seen it too. You have folks that, they're individually selling it, but it might be in their company, or they pay the taxes through their company. And so they've never really thought about it, but, you have to make sure that the contract has to read the same as the deed does. The contract has to be sold by the company, not the individual. Even though that person's name on it, that's not a good transfer of title if you don't address the company.
Like an estate,
Yeah, say.
the estate has to sell that.
A lot of it, or somebody that says, I'm working on some of these now, that, oh no, my grandfather gave this to my uncle back in 1942, and he said that I could have it when they all died.
Cool.
Yeah, we can't just go, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I got it, sign it here.
Great, you don't own that.
There's a lot more steps. There's a lot more.
I mean, the two of us, we should go on the road here.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps to do that. But those are things, when you pull up those tax records, it says heirs of, state of, calling.
Yeah.
Because there's work you need to do before you can get
right.
that. Sure.
And none of these things are impossible. It's not that it's impossible. It's just you need to kind of work through. a little
No, hey, look, I love the challenge. And so, I do like the ones that are really easy.
Yeah.
Too. But I mean, that's part of the fun part of what I get to do is figuring out a way to make this happen. Now, sometimes you're like, hey, look, this is what you got to do. A lot of times, especially with heirs and estates and things like that, or tax sales, you're going to see people that buy property with tax sale and didn't think they have the right to sell it, and they don't. And so, I'm trying to see some more of those too. And so there's processes, once again, not impossible to do, but sometimes there are steps to get through. And I can walk you through what to do. And if I can't, I can refer you to somebody who can.
And being a listing focused company and listing focused agents, we're going to have some of those that are not always perfect. So it's good to know somebody that can help us for sure. We have marketing as well for movement. So.
That's right. Like I said, I think we promote.
However, let me put my hat on.
Yes, let me scream to put my hat on. That one,
Any other questions for John before we allow him to, not be on the stage anymore?
But again, I've got cards here, I'll leave those with you.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all have questions or call me to something. All right, I should be, yeah. It is. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, call me anytime, either of them.
She said.
Just don't mix those up.
Oh, let's see. All right. What I do? I'm now doing. See that? Okay. Thank you, John. What a guest Valentine. All right. We'll come back to family reunion stuff. Hold on, we got a chat. Can you? Yes, Alicia, we will send that out in a follow-up email today with his information. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to address a couple of things, one of which is technology, and then we're going to have Glenn wrap us up at the end here. So I have a little video to play about Command, and then we're going to discuss technology and things.
The last year has proven to me that Command has really become an amazing tool. You know, I have a lot of anxiety about moving the entire database. We have about 3,500 people in there. My admin accomplished it in like without any hiccups whatsoever. All of the tags came over beautifully. All the information came over beautifully. I'm one of those agents that I live within my database. If I'm working, I am either on my laptop in Command or on my phone in Command. The thing I really love about the mobile app is it's an essential part of me working in the field. I go and show a client a house. Immediately upon saying goodbye, I'm in the app. I am making sure that all of their contact information is in there. If there is something that I need to do for them, you know, in the old days, I used to send myself an email or I used to, jot something down on a piece of paper. Now I'm just doing it as a task within Command, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but when we talk about the number of things we do as realtors every single day, any second we can save is really essential. One of the other things that I really love about the Command app is the ability to go in and take a quick look and see who's been looking in the consumer app in the last day or even in the last hour. That is something that has become an unexpected part of my daily routine. And it's actually the best part because it lets me know without question who I need to talk to as soon as possible that day. I would really suggest just start working within Command. They have developed a fantastic ecosystem that is a pleasure to work in. I couldn't possibly be happier with the database. Please give it a try.
Okay, so coming to family reunion, every year they have different upgrades and announcements that they do in Keller Williams at large. In 2017, I might be saying this wrong. Gary Keller said, which Keller Williams had technology and had a CRM and had things. He said, looking around, he's noticing these tech companies and venture capitalists buying technology companies, building technology companies, and leasing them to real estate companies. Well, what he noticed is, one, there was a lot of different add-ons. So you'd have to have this one and that one and that one and that one. They were all charged a separate fee, and they were not honoring data protection. So anybody that put a contract in, there's social security numbers, there's W-2s sometimes, 1099s, financial information, all this that needs to be potential client, fiduciary relationship. And he was noticing that was not being honored. And so part of it was the mission needs to be that Keller Williams works out a portion of their money, a portion of their business, and creates technology that can be owned by the agent, protected by the agent, protected by the brokerage. So he started that in 2017. Everybody said it was crazy. And it's evolved little by little. So all the while, the fee that Keller Williams agents were paying never increased. That $25 that's paid to Keller Williams International by every agent every month has never changed. Okay. So he put $1 billion of his personal dollars, not of Keller Williams money, towards building this technology. Well, now we're at 2023, and not only do the technology evolve, but you have to have engineers that are always chasing what is new, what is happening, what's going on with the technology. And you can't just, as you guys know, have a website. You can't just have an app. It always has to be evolving and growing. How many times do y'all get on Amazon or Facebook and the website has changed? Like the format has changed a little bit. That's because it's upgrading to meet glitches. It's upgrading to meet the pressure. And so some of us have experienced that. We had a lot of people jump straight into using Command and stretched it out a little bit and saw, oh, this is a pain point. And it is tremendous. So what we're going to talk about today is Keller Williams International has made the announcement that as of March 1st, there will be a charge increase per agent for the tech fee. Here we go again with these videos
The last-
every time. I don't know how to not do it. Okay, so what I have done, Tony, we hand these out to everybody, not mine. I don't want mine. What I have done is taken a moment to list out every single thing that is done inside of Command that will benefit your business. Now, there are more things, but these are the kind of the highlights and important things that, one, you would be paying for elsewhere to operate your business. Two, you would have separate logins for, or three, you wouldn't be using them. So we're just gonna have a family discussion about this. Yeah, there's 2 pieces of paper for every person. There's a packet.
Just two pieces?
Yep, there's the list, and then there's a 201. I have a one this way, one that way, one this way, one that way.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Okay.
If you're not here, sorry. Everybody got one of these. This will be emailed out, everybody. It's also listed on the screen here, what it is. So the uses of Command, I'm gonna go through them very quickly. Contact management, goal tracking, sales pipeline reporting, capping tracker, digital cloud-based filing system, transaction management, marketing suite, including real estate focused designs, that's important, print marketing materials, digital touch systems, customizable touch plans, integrated client communication, auto response options, client automatic updates, direct mailing options, social media share options, referral network of 180,000 agents worldwide, mass text messages, mass text and emailing features, mobile and desktop access, free DocuSign account, syncs to Command, many applications that are integrate. So there's some add-ons that integrate in if you want to go into that. This is just like the basic, you don't have to add anything. Constant upgrades and personalized branded app and website. Customized buyer and seller guides on the website and the personal app. Mobile app beyond local MLS boundaries. Customer favorite lists, search in and searches in my mobile app. Property search by location in mobile app. Mobile app syncs with MLS every 15 minutes for accuracy. KWLS for additional listing and marketing. And your data pledge, which we just talked about. So that means your customer client data is never going to be sold to a third party. You have the ability to import or export your database as you see fit, and is owned by each agent, not the brokerage. Why that's important. So one, we talked about how these third party companies, sell as leads this information. Secondly, brokerage is around, and I'll say local, because this is an experience I had this last year. A local brokerage around here took a top producer's contacts when they left, imported from their system, and then sent a mailer out knowing this agent was leaving their company, and tried to lead generate to this list of people. And literally basically made it sound like that individual was retiring from real estate. That was not the truth, but that's the point of it needs to be your database. Those are your contacts. It's not, Tony's going to leave the brokerage, or maybe he is retiring from real estate. I don't know, right? He maybe is retiring from real estate. He can export that, or he can just send everybody a letter saying, hey, this is what I'm doing because I've been working with you guys for 20 years. And us as the brokerage we don't jump in and go, hey, oh my gosh, did you know that now you can work with Kathy because Tony's leaving us. That's converting a lead.
That they won't keep our contacts and use them. And I've been told that several brokerages in years past that whatever you put in belongs to the company.
Right.
And if you leave and you put in a lot of stuff.
That's ours now. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's that dependent model. So you depend on the broker, and it's all about the brokerage. So the same thing with think about signs. So one of the points of discussion a lot of people have is, oh, that's the expense of a sign. Why don't you guys provide signs? Well, if it's Katie Woodard Real Estate Group and y'all are joining my brokerage, and I have Katie Woodard Real Estate and Katie Woodard logo and Katie Woodard branding, and I have Katie Woodard's office number, even if it's your listing sign, who's everybody gonna call? Katie Woodard, right? Oh my gosh, I saw and people call all day for here. That's why we follow your listing, your lead. If it's Malin's listing and they're calling our office saying, oh, I saw the Keller Williams, we direct them back to Malin, because Malin is the best person to handle that if they're not currently working with an agent. So it's little nuances that do mean a lot. So all this to say, in your paperwork, you can see, it's got a breakdown on the last page here of an example of other CRMs that you can compare. And when you look at these other CRMs, I'm gonna just tell y'all, the ones listed here are the very most basic version of their CRM. This is the least you can pay, and it does not do any of the other things that we have said. It literally allows you to mass email. If you text, that's an additional, and then it doesn't do any like social media designs, anything like that. So the minimum you would pay is $1,000 a month for any other CRM. Now, if you're not using a CRM in your business, Glenn will tell you this, even in the mortgage, they use a CRM, right? You need to. You're not going to make 100,000 plus and not use a database. If you are, one, you're going to have the same business every year. You're not going to have a business that evolves to be where you're running a business. You're just a practitioner that is taking leads and hoping to call somebody. You're not running a business, an operation. So as of March 1st, the bill increase to every Keller Williams agent. This is not Keller Williams Montgomery. Thank you, Glenn. Glenn's on TikTok in the back here. Every Keller Williams in the entire world agent will now pay an additional $25. So effective March 1st, your March 1st bill will come out and it will have the invoice. And it will now be $80 a month total. Okay, so that just increase your tech fee, $25. We do not retain a dime of that money. Okay, I need you to hear that. This goes to the engineers, the command tech people, the app builders, the website builders, all those genius people that are a lot smarter than I am. This is going to be emailed to every person. We have an email scheduled to go out immediately following this team meeting. So if you're not in this team meeting, you kind of missed the conversation. The recording will go out, but this will go out so that everybody signs saying they understand the change. I'm sure that we will have conversation with people, and the people that are going to have conversation are those that are not really utilizing the system. I feel like that's my personal opinion. We do at Keller Williams Montgomery and Keller Williams Auburn have the very lowest office bill in all of Keller Williams in Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. Most have been charging a minimum of $100. That's just a choice, along with our Associate Leadership Council, to not benefit monthly. We literally just do the pass-through, right? We have the errors and omissions, we have the technology, and those are the things that we're responsible for. So it's a pass-through fee. But if you're using a CRM, which you should be because you're running a business, that you're not going to get one for less than $80 a month. And truly the portion of the tech for us will only be $45 a month. So $55, it's $55 a month. I can't math. That's why Tony's here to be my supervisor. So anyway, any questions, any comments, any feedback? We've already talked to our leadership council about that. Yesterday, they were in support of it. So leaders, if y'all have something you'd like to add, I mean, Kathy, you've been in the business 20 plus years, 28 years. So what are your thoughts around this conversation?
I think the technology here, that's why I came, is because I've been in the business for a long time, but you have to continue to go with
The times, yep.
And you explained to me from the beginning the kind of technology that's offered here. And command is a struggle for everybody.
Right.
Learning it.
Well, it's just we just haven't done business this way. It's going to be a learning curve to adopt it.
But I think it's absolutely excellent. And you can go back and look at anything in the past or who was there. I think that's really important for my business. And I have spent 2 years unlearning.
Yeah.
A lot of just not good things.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, think about it. I mean, there used to not be an MLS, y'all. They used to have literally printed out books.
Oh, yeah.
Can you think of how quick this market's moving? You couldn't print them out fast enough. So you have to evolve. And if you're not going to, honestly, y'all, you don't really need to be in real estate. And you may, I mean, I don't know what industry you could be in that's not evolving. But even think of our students now. They don't use books, they use iPads. The teachers put the grades on the website, and the parent has to check the website. There's not like a printed report card anymore. You log on to the app and you check it's just where we are as a society. So we can either jump in and adopt it and use it to meet our strengths and boost our business, or we can say, you know what, this is not for me. And that's okay. There's no judgment in the conversation. Honestly, I just want to make it clear that it's not me and Tony and Adam and Susan sitting in a room going, you know what we could do this March? The price of eggs are up, so let's just hit them with a little increase. It was there's not been like a secret or we knew this was coming. Gary Keller had a meeting in October with all of the franchise owners, required everybody to come to this meeting in Houston or Dallas or somewhere. Anyway, and basically put forth the statement, I can either stop funding this tech and we can all go to KV Core, which is what all the other brokerages that were building tech went to, which doesn't protect the data. It doesn't do 90% of the other things. You got to your numbers point out. Or we can, I have to have the agents contribute so that we can pay these engineers. So it was a 2-day meeting, and Gary heard everybody out, and they got on the microphone and they did the, whatever. And it started, I believe, at $60 or $80 increase, and all the ownership got them down to just an additional $25. They said, we understand where this is coming from, but at the same time, like, inflation is real. So that all to say, this is going into effect. There's no ill will, malice, or anything. We are very passionate. We have said from the beginning of the year, we're gonna, our goal is to have 100 people make $100,000. We have the data that if you use command, that's what the second page is. If y'all have it here, I don't have it on the screen, of how to import your contacts. So very simply, there's 4 options of the way to do it. I sat down with some people utilizing this method this last week for database day. If you don't know what database day is, you come in and we're able to help you with your technology. They are tracking this. So we know who has got so many contacts in, and they're holding us accountable to have an additional 45 people upload their contacts into command by the end of March. The reason being is we know if you're not using a database, you're not going to be likely to earn $100,000 GCI. And we want productive agents. We want agents that succeed just like you want to succeed. That's why you get your license, right? And so what questions do y'all have real quick? And then Tony's going to talk about what you're going to see on your invoice. What do you call that thing? Account. Huh? What page?
The blue one?
No, this one, no.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
No. Yeah, that's where they have every month. They keep us in the red and the green, sending us going. Heather has put in 12 more contacts. What we did was we divided the roster between teams. So everybody in leadership has a team. So if Tony has called you, or Alyssa has called you, or Susan has called you, that's because you're on their team. And we have a little competition going of who can get them. And a lot of people had you just need to add 10 people.
Yeah.
So anyway, Tony, wait, what questions do y'all have about the fee increase? Okay, speak now, forever hold peace. Anybody in Zoom land? All right, now Tony's gonna talk about what you're gonna see on your bill.
Hey, guys. So when it comes to the agent billing, if you go through so when I send the links out on the 10th, for those who don't know, even though all of y'all know, you all read it on onboarding documents. Your agent bills go out on the 10th, and I auto draft them on the 20th. So in between the 10th and the 20th, you can look at them, you can go ahead and pay them, you can do whatever you need to do between the 10th and the 20th, and I auto draft on the 20th. And if there's a problem or anything like that, I'll email you, and late fees are on the 25th. So when you get this upcoming agent bill, it's going to be $80 total. That there's no late fee. There's nothing crazy. There's absolutely nothing going on the 10th. When I send them on March 10th, it's just going to be $80 because of the $25 increase. I know every time somebody sees $80, they think it's just a late fee. That's not what it is. So it's going to be $80 from now on, going out on the 10th, and you guys can look at March 10th.
Yeah. So
you guys can look at them. You can ask any questions about them. But they're always going to be broken down. It's going to say this portion goes to tech fee, this portion goes to list head, this portion goes to Arizona missions. So they're always broken down, and you could even access them, use them as deductions on your 1099 for full year. You should. Well, yeah, you should. But
and the MLS mark thing.
That's pretty much all it's going to be. Like, you guys don't have to do anything extra. I'm going to do it all on the back end, so you just see, right? you will just see the increase on the next agent bill. That was it.
Not February. If you haven't paid February.
No, yeah, February-
stays the same.
February is gonna be the same.
Okay, we're all good? We're good? We're good? All right. Are we ready to hear about what Glenn has for
Right.
marketing, mortgage, marketing, something? I've been talking about marketing. Mortgage marketing. Glenn is got a couple of things to share with us for an update. I do not have a slide for him, so I'm just gonna escape. Or not, stop share. All right, Glenn, you gotta come to the front, man. Well, because the people on Zoom can't see, man. They have to be able to see you.
I don't have much. Hello, Zoom land friends. All right, so for those that are in Zoom land, I'm gonna leave some of these downstairs for you that has the attachments that I brought for you. I'm gonna tell you what's in the packet first, then I want to give you a rate update. Okay, so first thing inside the packet, there is an economic calendar because there's been a lot going on, and I'll hit that here in a second. That's impacting rates. I put an agent qualification guide in there for each of you. This is a good little cheat sheet because I get questions a lot. Hey, what's the credit score requirement for this product? How much down payment is required? Can this one have a gift? How long after bankruptcy? Those type things. So all that is in this little one-pager cheat sheet that you can keep with you while you're out. The other cheat sheet that's in here is around seller concessions. How much can my seller pay and contribute on an FHA loan? How much can they pay and contribute on VA? So those are two cheat sheets that I have in there for you. Someone had asked about an application checklist. What documents do we need for an application? That cheat sheet is in there as well.
That's cool.
I know all kind of cheat sheets, right? It's like cheat day for school. Flyer for the Buyer's Advantage program. I'm going to hit that here in a second as we talk about rates. And then the last thing is a one-pager that's a reminder on the co-marketing that me and Tyler can do for each one of you on listings. And that's active listings. If you're going on a listing appointment and you want to advertise a buy down, which yes, those are a thing again, right? We thought those weren't going to be, and I'll mention that here in a second as we talk about a market update. We have tools and resources to help you win a listing if you're going on a listing appointment. If you're thinking about doing a price reduction, I would tell you, let's talk about that first, because price reductions may not be as impactful as offering a seller paid buy down. What I mean by that is a $10,000 price reduction on a house only saves a buyer, depending on the size of the loan. A $10,000 price reduction on a house may only reduce their payment 10, 20 bucks a month. Not as impactful as a seller paid buy down. So temporary buy down. So a 2-1 buy down, depending on the size of the loan, could be hundreds of dollars a month that they're saving in payments, as opposed to $10 to $20, $30 a month in payments for a $10,000 price reduction. So before you talk to that seller about a reduction, let's talk through it, see maybe if it makes more sense. Instead of saying, hey, seller, let's reduce the price to 10 grand, let's leave the price where it is, but let's use $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, whatever the cost is to advertise a buy down. So why am I talking about buy downs again? Economic calendar, the last 10 days, rates have gone up about 0.5% in the last 10 days. Why is that? Glenn, I thought rates are going down. They are. What happened that has spiked rates, the Cliff Notes version, is that a week ago Friday, the jobs report came out, and the jobs report was very strong, which you would think we'd naturally be celebrating a strong jobs report, but a strong jobs report shows that the Fed's efforts to control inflation are not there yet. When you see actually a weak job report, that is a sign that inflation is under control. And as we've talked about in past meetings, as inflation goes down, mortgage rates go down. So we've had a little temporary bump in rates, and also there's a bump that now folks thought the Fed was going to be done raising short-term rates in the next couple of months. Now it's looking like it's going to be 5 or 6 more months of raising rates. So this is a knee-jerk reaction in the market. The anticipation is still that rates will settle probably October timeframe, high 4s, low 5s. Just may be a little bit slower of a process of getting to that point than what was initially expected. So as you hone your craft, I think as you have initial rate conversations with clients, like we've talked about before, their reaction to rates will be what our reaction is when we present it to them. If you have a client that says, hey, what are rates right now? And the answer is, oh, they're high, they're 6.5%. Like, we've already taken that client in a different direction, right? But if we're telling them 6.5%, thank goodness, because they were 8 in October, that takes them in another direction, right? So buy downs is still a good way to win a listing. Still a good alternative for clients, and that buyer's advantage program is where buy now. You all saw the cheesy memes about date the rate, marry the house, still kind of the thing. Buy now, and when rates do settle, we'll do a one-time no cost refi to let that client take advantage of the lower
And
rates.
it's important to know not every lender will do the no cost rate.
That's right.
So don't be advising people, oh, because you've heard movement say that, it's particular
True.
companies. We were thankful to have you guys in here, but I think sometimes it can be, oh, yeah, we've heard that. And it's different companies.
Yeah, good point.
Criteria and different programs and different. The greatest script you can use is, great, it sounds like we need to meet. We can talk about your specific income requirements. We can talk about programs that have been discussed with us. If you get face to face with that person, you get to know the degree, but if you react like, oh, yeah, of course. That's how they're going. You know, I wouldn't want to have some talk to me to them.
Yeah,
So keep that in mind. You know, we want to be real, but we want to help. So
that's it. Quick and easy. See you, Zoom land.
I just thought I'd make- yeah.
No, you're good.
Things are more-
I guess in relationship.
No, you did it.
There's a good relationship.
Okay, well, I'm closing down Zoom land. You'll be getting a email follow-up from this, and a DocuSign to sign. And anybody that needs to upload their contacts, we are here to help. Anybody on the staff can help you with that. We have quick videos to share if you want to do it at home. We've got these instructions to share. We will help you walk through it because we want to help you. So, all right, go if I win.